The Great Gatsby is arguably one of the greatest novels of all time. It's a classic read and it's so complex. The layers within these relationships between Daisy, Tom, Nick, and Gatsby are able to be almost taken apart piece by piece and analyzed separately. Welcome to part 11 of our 26-part series. In this series, we've been looking at Gatsby through different lenses. These lenses are taken directly from How to Read Literature Like a Professor, where Thomas Foster demonstrates how to take a deep dive into properly dissecting the contents of a book. Chapter 11 is all about violence in literature and the double meanings that it often holds. As we have seen in the previous episodes, Fitzgerald has mastered the art of utilizing double meanings and deeper concepts throughout his writings, and anger is not an exception to his genius. Let's take a deeper look at just how violence is portrayed in Gatsby. I'm Tate Brown, and this is Reader Review. A big thank you to the Antonio Andolini organization for sponsoring this series. Please visit www.readerreview.com/AAO for more information. That's www.readerreview.com/AAO. Thank you again for the support. Okay, so in the beginning, we see many different kinds of violence. First up, we have Tom and his poorly mannered mistress. The existence of this woman alone imposes violence between Daisy and Tom's relationship. Infidelity is often described as violent in a way. Here, though, it seems like Tom makes a constant effort to remind Daisy of what he's doing to her, almost like he's trying to hurt her in the same way that he hurts her physically. Oh, yeah, there's also the in your face violence with that. Obviously, if your husband is hitting you, that might be a sign of violence. But we also know that he hit his mistress as well. This lady, Myrtle, felt like she had a right to say Tom's wife's name in front of him. This obviously frustrated him, especially when she refused to stop. The slap is described as unthinking, as if it's a reflex or something. That is the second layer to this action against Myrtle. It is implied that this is far from his first time doing something like this. However, the argument holds a secret third layer to the violence. Even though it was his mistress who took the hit, his anger towards just Daisy's name takes a jab at Daisy too. It's just crazy how complex one character's actions can be. That's a big part of viewing the novel through this lens. There's always a hidden meaning behind each surface level moment. The opinion people held on Gatsby also had a bit of violence in it. Whether it was the rumors of his quote unquote murderous past is obvious. But to me, I find more of it in the rumors themselves. They hold power, and with every false accusation, Gatsby's name is torn down piece by piece. The same could be said about Catherine and the horrible assumptions she has about Daisy. But honestly, I don't think we have a right to describe Daisy as violent in any sense. Every choice she made, aggressive or not, had reason and thought behind it. In How to Read Literature, one of the things that is mentioned is that violence is one of the most personal and even intimate acts between human beings. I think that is what we see most often in Gatsby's world. When Daisy hits Myrtle with the car, it's assumed that it was completely by accident, but it was her choice whether or not to stop the car, and she chose violence. Tom was hurt by the death of his mistress, and Mr. Wilson was dreaming of revenge. Wilson acted on impulse when he pulled the trigger on Gatsby, but Tom manipulated the situation and showed the most telling signs of true evil. He managed to hurt everyone around him and still get away unscathed. That seems to be a common theme in this novel, because, take Daisy. She committed vehicular manslaughter, got away. Wilson killed Gatsby, took the easy way out. Tons of people called Gatsby's house after finding out about his untimely passing just to relay the message that he got what he deserved. How crazy is that? To call someone's residence just to say that you're glad they're dead? There's also a difference in types of violence, though. There's violence inflicted on characters by other characters, like Gatsby's murder and Daisy killing Myrtle. And then there's authorial violence, which is inflicted on characters by the narrator, like the death of Dan Cody, Gatsby's best friend. The author chose to kill him to further the history and backstory of Gatsby's life. I wish we could make these episodes longer because I could honestly go on for hours just dissecting the sheer capacity within every action of these people. Overall, I think this motif of violence and rage can be taken from any page, any line in the book. Fitzgerald has a beautiful way of combining the glitz and glam of the time period with the horrible atrocities committed. It's like a chandelier reflecting gorgeous hues of light from across the room while still maintaining a sense of sharpness that could draw blood. Unfortunately, I think that is all the time we have for today, but be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the series and listen to all the previous episodes if you haven't yet. They are really intriguing. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. I'm Tate Brown, and this has been Reader Review. Bye bye.